Welcome back. Well, as always, let's go across to Manisha Gupta to get a sense of what's happening in the commodity and currency space. Manisha, good morning.
Morning, and thank you. Well, last night we saw the crude oil prices slide a bit, but in Asia there has been some buying that's back. Well, there are contradicting fundamentals, but more supportive than ever before. And while, of course, we are looking at the demand concerns still on, it really is about the OPEC output for the month of Jan, lowest in 2 years. It is about sanctions on Venezuela. It is about involuntary cuts that have come in from Libya, Iran, Iraq, and Venezuela, of course. So that tells you that if this continues, it will lead to the global glut situation actually easing off, and the markets are taking support of that. The strength in US dollar, of course, has led to a bit of a decline in many commodities, including crude. You also have seen the metal prices slightly under pressure, especially the gold prices, which have come off to a one-week lows. The global equity markets have seen some support. So there is some risk appetite back, and that seems to be weighing onto the gold prices. In any case, because of the kind of run-up that we saw in gold at 8-month highs in global markets, 5-year highs in the Indian market, so some correction, consolidation is what you can expect. The metal prices, in the meanwhile, are trading quite flat, with Shanghai and much of Asia out for the Lunar New Year holidays. It is only LME that we see trading coming in, and that also the participation is slightly on the weaker side. So not too much to read into metals. It has been a relief rally. We have seen most of these metal prices gain a bit, but whether it's sustainable is a question mark really for the sector.
All right, Manisha, thanks a lot for that. So whether the metal prices are sustainable at these levels or not is a question for the sector. But with that, we move on to the equities derivative space. Yesterday was an interesting day of trade, just like the previous trading session. On the previous trading session, we saw a give up of gains on the Nifty from 10,983. But in yesterday's trading session, the Nifty bounced almost 100 points from the lows of 10,814. So for the near term, perhaps this looks like an important range, 10,814 to 10,983. The yesterday's up move of 100 points was primarily on account of 4 stocks. You have Kotak Mahindra Bank, HDFC Twins, and Reliance, with Reliance contributing majority of the gain. So in that regard, and the weakness that we saw in the broader markets, both the FIIs and the DIIs sold in the cash markets. Not just the cash markets, the FIIs also sold in index futures. And with a narrow rally, is there a fear of perhaps the market going to lower levels? Well, if that's the case, then the FIIs bought big in index options, a lot of index puts added. In fact, close to around 1,200 crores worth purchased by the FIIs in index options. And if you take a look at the breakup out there, the FIIs added close to 28,000 long puts. This compares with 2,300 long calls. So in a sense, 12 long puts added per long call. But if the markets were to decline, there could be some support as well, because that is reflected from the fact that the FIIs added close to around 10,547 short puts, and this compares with 3,000 short calls. So nearly 3 puts written per call. The 10,800 put and the 10,900 put saw a fair amount of writing. If you take a weighted average of the premium, that's telling you that anywhere between 10,700 to 10,850 is the firm support. And between 10,750 to 10,850 are all the moving averages as well. So that could be an important support zone. For stocks, watch out for DHFL enters the FNO ban, and most definitely watch out for Reliance Communications, because NSE came out with a circular yesterday saying that all FNO contracts of Reliance Communications will expire in the Feb series itself. Outside of the Feb series, these will not trade in FNO, and that means all the 16.17 crore shares which are there in open interest will have to be unwound or will have to expire in this series itself.
Okay, Mangalam, thank you so much for that. We will definitely watch out for DHFL as well as Reliance Communication. But on that note, that's all the time we had on Power Breakfast today. Bazaar Morning Call comes up next.